Welcome everyone to another grimoire with me. So this will be the last video in our Casper series because with this video the circle finally comes to a close. We started with the idea at midnight, born out of a rather sad feeling to create something to bring me joy, to making all the tools myself for the ritual, then the research phase and the coming together of the ritual itself and the spell work attached to it. And then I shared the spell work I want to go for this spell. So after figuring out and evolving and developing the ritual and the spell, I'm able to take all of those steps and all of the information and the research that went into it and take it out of my working grimoires and put it in a very condensed form into my art grimoire. So this grimoire is not for working purposes, it's just an extract from the actual spell work. So as you can see, I work with watercolor again. I chose the color greens and different variations of green because I wanted to use first of all the colors I used for Casper itself, but also the colors that correspond with money, which is the reason why I painted Casper the way I painted him, because all his colors draw in money and correspond with money, and I wanted to symbolize that in my art grimoire as well. So I used lots of different greens, some yellows and golds at the end to make all of the tiny details and the decoration, you could say. For this I got these amazing new gold paints, which I will link in the info box. I didn't expect for them to be so vibrant and so lovely, and it was so much fun to use them. So in the beginning I just sprinkled gold all over the pages, which you cannot really see except when the light hits it at the right angle. It looks like lots of tiny glitter, tiny sparkles that fill the pages. It's very, very beautiful. So I already knew that I needed lots of space to put all the already condensed information down on the page. That's why I decided to use very little decorative pieces in this spread, not like some of my others where I use lots of collage techniques to fill the pages. Here I kept it very simplistic, very minimal. Because sewing is the thing I do in my journals, I decided to use this to add another space I would be able to write information down, and I decided to go for an envelope, not only because I can write behind the envelope, but also because I can obviously put information, journal pages or other notes I will make in the future, so I can add them at any given time. I wanted to sew it onto the page in a way that I could open it like a door and that it wouldn't take any space away from the page itself. So I needed to make sure that I could open it freely without needing to sacrifice any space on the page itself to secure the envelope. And I'm doing this because I like to always leave some space in my grimoire or in my journals to add information on how the spell is developing, how the spell is manifesting, and what I can see throughout the weeks or months I'm working on it. It's very interesting to look back and put one and one together, because many changes in your life, even if they are not significant for you at the time, could be very interesting in retrospect. So I like to keep these journal pages or this chance, this opportunity to write down any developments regarding money or financial stability maybe, or if I'm attracting something out of nowhere, which already happened. I got a job offer. Out of nowhere, I got a job offer, like the best one I have gotten. It just came to me, it's absolutely unexpected. I was so shocked. Even during the pandemic. Yeah, wow. I didn't see. That's the thing. When things like this happen, I want to have space to write these down, to note them down, because in retrospect, if I walk through these experience or changes, I can take them and use them to grow, not only spiritually, but also to grow my understanding of my own magic and my understanding of my own spell work and rituals, so that I can adapt and improve my spell work with every spell I'm doing. Now, so I decided to sew this envelope in, and this was very hard work. It was it was pretty complicated because I wanted to sew it in a way that it wouldn't block anything on the page. So I also decided to draw a cute version of Casper onto the page, and I thought it would kind of be funny to leave out his right ear because that's the one he sadly lost while traveling. And I really like how it looks. I think it's like kind of cute. I do these journal pages and these grimoire pages because I just find joy in doing them, you know. I just have joy creating these pages, and I also love to look through these and interact with the artwork I put down. So I like to make these pages interactive. And because there are no journal pages yet in this envelope, I wanted to fill it anyway with certain things that would make this page more exciting for me. So I decided to put in some ingredients I used in the spellwork itself. I used this all tea bags I collect. I went for bay leaves and coffee. I also thought it would be kind of fun to include Casper's ear, which is kind of gruesome if you say it out loud, but I thought it would kind of be funny because I don't want to throw it away, but he will get a new one and not this one. So I thought this would be the perfect place to keep his lost ear, you could say. The more I talk about it, the more I say it out loud, the funnier it gets for some reason. So this was my first money spell, and it took me ages to finally be comfortable with the spell work I created and with all the ingredients. It took a lot of trial and error to find the perfect combination, but for me it's definitely worth it in the end, even though it takes time, especially the research and trying out phase until it finally fits. Back when I would do rituals or spells that I would get from the internet or from books, I always had the problem that I didn't understand why I was using the things I was using. I mean, I knew that I would use lavender because it was like calming, but that was about it. And while I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to use spells from grimoires or from other people, I do think that for me personally, if I construct this spell myself, it just works so much better because I know the intention and the story and the development behind every single one of the ingredients I decided to put into the spell. And they work together in a specific way, they build on top of each other, and I just would never understand it that deep from other grimoires or from just other witches in general. Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I would always suggest to take a spell from somebody else and add your own personal touch to it. But for me personally, creating my own just works way better, and it takes way more time, and it's kind of more failure than success at a point, but the outcome is it just makes it worth it. So I always listen to music when I create. If it's painting, making these art grimoire pages, making something out of clay or sewing, doesn't matter. I always listen to music because it keeps me inspired and it keeps me energized. So I put 2 of my favorite playlists for this in the info box below because I hope it will inspire your creativity like it inspires mine. I also share my art projects and my grimoire pages on Instagram, so if you're curious, you can check them out. I hope I could inspire you to create some art yourself or to work in your grimoire in a more creative way, and I hope I see you next time.